Hello and welcome, Gemini, to your May messages. So keep in mind these are collective and general. Receive what aligns, release what does not align with you. Never give your power away to a reading or outcome. Remember that you're a conscious creator and you shift your timeline with your free will choice. So there will be an extended that will be available in my extended videos only membership in my Patreon, and that is linked below in the description box. Okay, suddenly got really chilly. Okay, so that might be a signifier for someone here. You have, oh, Gemini, you have some interesting energy. So we start with the Five of Wands. Okay, for your main messages, you might be dealing with a lot of conflict, competition, obstacles, but I feel like you're taking space from that in May with the full energy and you're kind of following your bliss. You're listening to your heart, okay? With that full energy, you're ready to start something new. You're leaning away from this Five of Wands energy. You may have felt like you had to try to control the chaos, and it feels like now you're just surrendering and kind of, it might be in some respects, you're like, not my circus, not my monkeys. So you're learning boundaries around taking on responsibilities that are not yours, right? We have you listening to the Ace of Cups. We have you nurturing yourself. We have you being really rewarded by choosing that peace and compassion within rather than this really egoic, competitive cluster, you know what, okay? So it might be that you have a lot of energies around you. They're not all getting along at this time. It could be family, right? It could be children if you have children. So you're giving yourself a little bit of a break here and you're listening to the wisdom of your heart, what your heart is telling you, what the universe is telling you. It's interesting because in the character energies, we have challenger, seeker of adventures, courage, challenge, and goal. So in some respect, you like to be challenged, you like to be stimulated, you like to overcome obstacles, right? But you're just kind of learning a new way in May that feels more in alignment here. We also have community, we have neighbors, team, connection, society, cooperation. So that might be where, you could be dealing with many different personalities, right, at work or, within your family or within social groups. And instead of trying to control it, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna let everybody, kind of be who they are, you are in this sensitive energy with the King of Cups, really intuitive. You're tapped in with your intuition, probably more than ever before in the month of May with that King of Cups. You're very compassionate, but you're like a calm, steady strength kind of in these situations, okay? Some of you too, if you're in a relationship with someone, whether it's at a distance or even if it's not, it's like your heart spaces are definitely communicating and connecting and you're finding peace within each other's energy. That's something that I'm seeing here too. There can be that family chaos and all the drama that happens, with when you have children and, the certain ages when they start to be a bit more challenging with you, right? Or, the community or, coworkers, there's a lot going on, but you're finding your center, you're finding your peace, you're finding that stillness, within your heart space and connecting into what is fulfilling for you. When we get into the astro codes, we have Mars. So we have that Aries energy coming through here, stepping forward. There might be a significant Aries in your experience, in your life, with that motion energy. Okay, or it's just like you taking aligned action, you taking initiative on things that you feel called to take initiative on. We also have tension coming through here, and you see there's those two birds that are kind of fighting. You might notice around you, if you're outside, you see birds fighting, around you. That's kind of representative of some of the energies of the people around you. Okay, but then we have symbiosis and it working out. There being this gentleness, this peace, this compassion. This is a perfect example of people fighting with their egoic nature versus coming to their heart space and having that heart to heart and being connected in with that love frequency, right? And I feel like you figured that out, and you being that grounded, calm energy actually is going to radiate out to those around you and could create this sense of peace, this sense of harmony, right? this gentleness, this compassion. That's what it feels like. So you are a frequency shifter just by changing your own frequency, where you're, the way that you're addressing situations, the way that you're balanced within yourself, okay, that you're connected in with your heart space. You're in like a non-judgmental energy too. Like you're discerning, of course, but you're in a non-judgmental energy, and anything that's too overwhelming, you're just kind of like leaning away from that and going to spaces and places where maybe it's a bit more quiet. You can connect with your heart. You can hear your intuition. When we get into past life energy, we have Archangel Zadkiel, compassion, freedom, and forgiveness. So again, there's that sense of healing, balance, release. In fact, in the bottom of this oracle deck, it says, I bless the past and let it go. I am free. So there could be something that you're releasing here. Or you could be teaching about forgiveness, about compassion, about freedom, just with like who you are and how you're addressing situations, how you're parenting if you're parents. We have overworked, out of balance. Okay, that's something that you're bringing back into balance in May, this past life energy. We have expressive talents, creativity in the arts. That might be a way that you connect in with something that's a little more enriching and fulfilling for you. And Archangel Phanuel, which is optimism and hope. So you're kind of opening up these new opportunities. And, again, some of you, it's like you've opened up this new window within your heart space, within your perspective, within the way that you're living, within your alignment, where you're realizing, overworked is not necessarily the way to be. Sometimes, yes, we do have to, work pretty hard in our experience, but it feels like you're putting your time and energy, even if you're quite busy at your job, when you come home or you have that space, you're putting it into like your creative expression. And, for some of you, that could be writing, that could be music, that could be painting, drawing, maybe even just like sitting and meditating, or sitting and just thinking and just having that space and time to yourself. So you're creating this balance with the contrast of the energies within your experience. Some of you, it's like, oh, there's even like singing coming through here too. So any creative expression that aligns with you could be coming through, and it could come from a past life. This talent could come from a past life, right? Some of you could be discovering or unlocking new talents. It's like you could have a really kind of tough day, and all of a sudden you'd find yourself just singing, and like it's really fulfilling for you to sing how you're feeling and your expression. You're very much connecting with your expression, and that's something fulfilling for you. When we get into the love and the relationship energies here, Gemini, we have self-indulgence, focus on self, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. And I feel like that's the space where you're in that right now. You might have been very much focused on other energies, but now you're focusing on yourself. You're centering yourself. We also have the hand of cards. Take a chance, risk, being strategic, options, not showing your hand, gambling. Now you're more quiet. You're more quiet than maybe before. Like, have you ever noticed, like with crowds of people, sometimes when you yell, yes, it can get their attention, but sometimes you just join in. That's like this 5 of Wands. You join in the fray, right? You join in the noise. But when you're quiet, people are like, wait, what? And they like tune in. And so you have this quiet, strong presence that kind of commands attention. It brings about peace, right? Even the way you're looking at your obstacles, you're like, it's going to work out. Like you're not stressing as much as you used to. Now, the person you can be connecting with could be in the opposite energy and quite stressed out, because we have coffee anxiety. My worries are getting the best of me. So your person could drink a lot of coffee. Maybe they need to back off some of that caffeine because it's just like feeding their anxiety. Maybe they need to express themselves physically, go for a run, go for a walk, to kind of move that energy through them and balance themselves out. For some of you, there could be someone that you ended a connection with. Okay, I keep telling myself it's not over, and they're still holding on to you from the past. This could be somebody, a signifier is like they drink black coffee, okay, or they drink a lot of coffee here. That could be the case, or somebody who's like a lot of anxiety. Okay, if that's not your situation, that's not your situation, but that's just what's coming through. We also have unbridled, your spirit set me free, and chips, stress, don't sweat the small stuff. And I think that's your energy. You're like, don't sweat the small stuff. Like you're a very reassuring, loving, balanced, fulfilled, confident presence, right? And you're reassuring a lot of people around you, I'm sensing, right? So in the extended, we'll look into more of like these love energies, see a bit about like how you're feeling about these energies. Like I said, I think you're very soothing. If you're in a partnership and it's a healthy relationship, you're very soothing to each other. Or if things were you were dealing with a lot of conflicts, I feel like you're finding peace and harmony and working together in a way that there's a lot of understanding and compassion, and things are kind of healing. There's forgiveness and like moving forward. But some of you, you have someone from the past who's holding on to you, okay, and they're just not willing to believe, that, the connection is over here. So we will go ahead and get into that. I hope this brought you value. Thank you so much for joining me here, Gemini. This is a beautiful shift in your energy. Throughout the years, this year, the Gemini energy has been like, it's been like overworked. You've been stressed and overworked, and it's nice to see this incredible shift within you. So congratulations. If you're joining me, I'll see you in the extended. If not, take the best care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon.